Hey, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mark, and there's a couple of things I wanted to talk about. One of them would happen to be the P. Diddy sexual assault investigation that's going on. And I know just recently they raided his home in Miami and I believe California. I'm not sure if New York was also raided, but I know two of the homes were definitely raided. Now, I need people to wake up because this government will fuck with your mind completely and will have you believing that your best friend is the worst individual on the planet. Now, don't get me wrong, P. Diddy, I feel, is guilty of these sexual assault cases. It's just my personal opinion. In reality, he needs to face a jury of his peers and we go about this the legal way. However, my personal feelings and seeing him throughout the years, because I'm from New York City, seeing him throughout the years, I truly believe that he is guilty of these crimes. But what I want you to understand is, let's go back to Epstein. And when they raided his home and everything, notice there was a lot of people that Epstein could have put out there, and they would have been in a lot of problems. Except Epstein's dead for some apparent reason. I don't know how he was able to hang himself, but I digress. He's dead, and the other lady, Maxine or Giselle, whatever her name is, she hasn't been able, like you can't even get to her, for her to talk to tell her side of the story. I don't even know when they're gonna have a trial. Um, when the feds go into now, mind you, once again, my personal feelings is that the feds have been bought and paid for. So when they go into P. Diddy's home looking for certain things, because these are the places where he would have these parties and these little sexual escapades and with young kids and all that stuff. They're looking for evidence on P. Diddy, yes, but they're also removing evidence because there's some people that's on the higher at a higher level that probably engaged in some serious pedophilia and some really evil things, maybe drugs and all that other stuff, and they're to be protected, just like Epstein. They're not able to tell their side of the story or who was involved. If you notice, they stole all kind of the feds raided and took all type of evidence. Except it's 2024 now, and we still don't know who was involved with Epstein. They named some people that like Dershowitz, who then had to really make some threats because he actually was not a part of that whole pedophilia thing. And so that's how you know somebody's innocent, because he made sure that he cleared his name, and he went very strong, very aggressive to clear his name of any accusations. And so that's a person is innocent. So to Mr. Dershowitz, thank you for stepping up, doing what most people who are innocent would do. A guilty person would rather hide, but an innocent person is going to fight to clear their name, and that's what Dershowitz did. A couple of people that's weak, that they don't really care about, but the ones that actually hold power, that dictate what's going on, the government actually hide these information. So we don't know who was there, and up till now we still don't know. Notice they said this list that they could have released a long time ago. It still have not been released, and we don't know what's going on. So that's the government dumbing us down. this is what's happening with P. Diddy. They didn't go in that home just to find evidence against P. Diddy. They went in that home to make sure that the ones who were involved with P. Diddy, because apparently P. Diddy recorded a lot of things that happened in those homes. And they went in there to hide that evidence so that P. Diddy would be the only fall guy. And either his life is gonna be threatened, or he might end up like Epstein. Who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? But we do know that he got some serious problems coming his way. So let's continue paying attention to that, and I think we're gonna start seeing a lot more just on P. Diddy and maybe a couple of people, some low life drug dealer or something. Not the real people that's been partying with him, like real people that have some political and some influential power. Trump and Fani Willis. Now, I know everybody talk about DEI and black people like they're just stopping us and this and that. No, DEI is the other way for affirmative action. So they did away with affirmative action. Well, we got DEI. Which is probably another bad way of looking for good quality individuals. Fani Willis is what this lady should have been removed. And you know, I'm always proud when I see individuals who happen to be black, because I don't like to go with the color. Like, she became an attorney because she's black, but I think within the black community, there's so much challenges because we as adults don't challenge our children to be the best at what they can do. And I'm guilty of that because at my young age, I did a lot of crap and running the streets, and I have some kids, and I wasn't really there as much as I wanted to be there. I didn't play that father role. So I say this because men, especially black men today, need to really focus on their children. Don't make mistakes that I've done and people during my time and before that, and your family. Don't make those same mistakes. You'll notice that children will grow up with a different mindset if there's both parents in the picture. Now, don't get me wrong, the mothers are just as bad and just as cruel, because some of them use their children just for money purposes to degrade that man, or just for their benefits, and it's never about the children. So adults, we have selfish reasons for why we do things, and the ones that get hurt are the children. So I just want to put it out there. And I'm not saying all men. I think child support reform is needed 100%, because with child support reform, now we can really start holding people accountable. By threatening them, I'm going to suspend your license. Now that same black person can't get the kind of job that can pay him to have a decent living wage. But he can also be more involved with his kids. When you're taken away from them, anger, frustration, and you know, we have gone through a lot where a lot has been taken from us, especially when, let's learn the real history, when blacks were free after slavery ended, and the government promised 40 acres and a mule if they would just continue working the fields, but they would get paid for their services. Their stuff would be purchased, and instead it wasn't. They took it, they started making fake crimes that they had to end up working those fields for nothing, and the government was taking it. And the government, or whatever state government, they were taking it, and they owed these people a lot of money. So when you talk about work that was performed, I'm not even going into slavery. Let's push that one out. I'm talking about when the government promised black people that they would pay them for their services by purchasing the goods that was created by blacks on these fields, tobacco, cotton, things like that, that they were supposed to have paid them for the hard work that they've done, and it never happened. So when black people talk about reparations, That's the reparation we should be fighting for. There's a lot of money that should have been paid to these people, and if the government really want to take care of that, there has to be records of people that own land that the government said that will be, and so those kind of lands that now the government took over, they should be given back to the ancestors of people that own that land, to the generation. So, excuse me, not to the ancestors, to the generations of children that have come after those owners, and they should be, and it should be given them just like they're giving land to the Indians. Those lands should be given to blacks who ancestors worked those fields and were promised just to be paid for, and promised that land would be theirs, and it never happened. So if you're gonna fight smart reparations. That will go a long way than just keep saying we were slaves and we want to get paid. No, go for what was promised to them, and you'll see it go a long way. That's where they should go, instead of this silly, I was a slave, and I can't even date back to who was a slave. What I came from islands, this and that. African leaders gave and basically traded blacks to be slaves. So do things the right way. But let me get back to what I was trying to say. So Fani Willis basically came up with a RICO case, because RICO cases get paid the most money. They can get a lot from the government for RICO cases. And she put a RICO case against Trump. Now, mind you, if she wanted to do a case against Trump because she says he tried to overturn an election, then go back to Hillary Clinton, because Hillary Clinton made up a whole story about the Russians helping Trump, and the election was stolen. And nobody is holding Hillary Clinton accountable, because now we learned that it was fake. And Obama's, I think he was in charge of the CIA. I'm not sure his name. He now comes on MSNBC, and he's sitting there faking the funk. But when the notes that he wrote, stated that he said to Obama, Hillary Clinton is going to make up a story about the Russians interfering in the election, so that it could take the heat off of her server. Well, I would like to know, why wasn't this put out there? And Obama, who was supposed to be the hope and change president, why did he allow it to then turn around? Obama knew it was fake, but he still turned around and spied on the Trump campaign. Democrats have a holding power in such, and they're colluding with such powerful individuals that they can't even get themselves out of this now. They are so corrupt, and they're making Trump to be the corrupt one. But I need you to go back in New York, something that all real estate developers do. They overprice their homes or buildings, whatever. They all do it. You'll say, hey, my building's worth $800 million. The bank always do their due diligence. They don't sit down and just take their word. Oh, sure, okay. No, they get people to go and appraise the home, and then they'll come back and say, this place is actually worth this amount, and then they do the loan for what that value of the home the bank says it is worth. Trump did what every real estate developer do. Any real estate developer turn around and tell you that they don't do that, they are lying. Homeowners do it. We always want to increase the value of our homes because we want the most. The bank then have appraisers. They turn around, they appraise one home from the other. That's how they get the value of your home. And then the bank will come back and say, this is what the home is this value for. You're going to sell the home for that amount. You're not going to sell it for the astronomical number that you're going to make up. So, this one, Jon Stewart, jumping on Trump. Yeah, they got you, Trump. Yeah, blah, blah. He did the same thing with his home in New York. He overpriced the home. The bank turns around, says, this is what the home is worth. Case closed. Should now Jon Stewart go to jail? Should Jon Stewart pay a hefty fine? If you're going to do that, do it with everybody. So people like this lady Letitia James and Fannie Willis, these are DEI attorneys. They don't know what they're doing. All they want to do is make a name for themselves and make money. Fannie Willis lied on stand, blatantly lied. And you know what the funny part is? Black people know this, but we'll sit there and be like, they're coming after the black woman because she's a black woman. No, she is just a woman who is crooked, who tried to steal money and then call somebody else crooks. She is a crook, and she needs to get her just rewards by going to jail or being disbarred, one of the two. You know, innocent people like you and I, we go to jail for the smallest things. They turn around and say nobody's above the law, but except them. They're above the law. They should be able to do whatever they want and then get away with it. This lady has been messing with a married man for years, since 2019. Turn around, and he's probably using her. He probably didn't even, because if you see his wife that he divorced to her, something's wrong with Nathan Wade. But I digress. He was probably using her because he knew he could get his name much bigger out there than just being this little attorney that does ambulance chaser. He can probably get his name out there. She made him into a prosecutor, and he's never done no RICO case. He hasn't done nothing like this. Like I said, he was just an ambulance chaser. Okay, do a little divorce here, a little this, that. Now he's getting his name up there. Nathan Wade, prosecutor. He's getting big. He's using her. You know, give her a little loving. You know, get some of that. And he gets his name out there. And she went along with it like a dummy. She has no integrity. And she wants to go after Trump for election interference, yet you can't even, the government can't even go after Hillary Clinton, who blatantly destroyed evidence when she had a congressional subpoena to bring in those evidence. Destroyed it with hammers and probably the heel of some other woman, because Hillary got them big hoofs for feet. So it's ridiculous how there's charges for one side, but turn a blind eye for the other. There are DEI hires, and they need to be held accountable. Okay, so I wanted to talk about that. It's been a while since I've been on, so it feels good to be talking again. I hope to be doing this a lot more, and I'm hoping to create my own podcast where I can actually start talking to people and challenging them, because I'm ready to vote for Trump. I think Trump is going to be the best president ever. He was in 2016. Democrats did everything in their power to disgrace his name, make him look like he's the bad guy, make black people feel, and it's so funny that this is happening, because black people now are feeling the after effects with immigration. When Trump said it, they called him a racist, and now look, the same thing that Trump said, it's happening. But I digress. We're going to start seeing what's going to happen in the future. But once again, I had to get the chance to rant. I'm in a hotel right now getting ready for a little meeting, and